Hi, thank you for joining us on another episode of Life Unplugged. Alright, so I'd like to talk a little bit on the topic of mental health and depression. I'm not talking as a certified psychologist because I'm not. I'm talking as an individual, maybe say a patient of a psychologist. Not saying though that I am seen a psychologist, but I during my studies I've known that counselors, and it was uh, someone who told me that as a counselor they too have to get counseling or have to have a counselor themselves, right? So every counselor, has to have someone who they can go to after they probably having patients, and patients tell them all the stress and the cares of life. They have to go to someone to kind of get that off their chest. And I found it very interesting because at times we see persons who may offer some support, even ourselves in situations. We are there for others. We're that strong person, and having all of that knowledge, it can be harmful to us. They always say some of the craziest are the vilest persons are those who are educated, because after being educated and not having the avenue or the medium to showcase that knowledge, it at times turn to violence or turn to something bad, and that is what caused some of them to do some of the silly things they do, by killing, by doing other stuff that are not rewarding, or it doesn't show that they are fully educated. I mean, educated doctor, he knows the strategies, he knows the medicine that can cure life, but because that, hey, for one, I could harvest their liver, their lung for an experiment, or they're gonna die if I give them the wrong medicine. One thing that a doctor does, one overdose, one wrong medicine, and could cause someone's death. Now, I'm not trying to beat down the medical or whatever profession, even though I know I'm drawing my reference from that. But it can relate to all practices of life, in which persons who have offered support, they too have suffered, they too need that support, right? And this is what mental health is, right? In which we are all dependent on each other to ensure that what what is true, what is important to us remains important. As a ordinary Joe, and you being a big brother, big sister to the family, you providing, you offering some support. You may not be able to offer monetary support, but you're there, always looking out. You are on the corner. If someone say, "Hey, go buy me this," you are there for them. And they say, "Oh, what go on? Hey," they will always call you, but maybe they did not spend that time with you to say, "Hey, how are you?" Not like saying, "Hi, how are you?" but actually saying, "How are you?" to kind of get to know if you are doing fine mentally. And it it also is dependent on we as individuals seeing the importance to develop ourselves, not seeing where We're always there for others, and when it comes to our development, we are found lacking. It's not being selfish, but mental health or the lack of it. Because it's not that we don't have mental health or it's caused something different, but one is where you have good mental health, and one where there's lacking. We are lacking in mental health, right? And it's basically like it's a stage in which either you're fine, you're not fine, you're almost fine, getting fine. But as you raise each stage as if you're filling a tank or a drum, to be at the level of good mental health is what others seek, others try to attain, others live for, others ignore. And based on what you do, if you ignore it, if you accept it, if you are there, if you're getting there, if you want to get there, if you were there, whatever stage you are, that is or will determine your mental health. And the enemy to mental health is that thing called depression. And I was speaking to someone and trying to get down to some of the the real causes of depression. And the main causes, let me just say that the main causes of depression are financial, emotional, social. Right? So I'm using those three broad topics. And even spiritual, right? So financial, you want money, you're not able to meet some of your dreams because of financial obligations. Other persons are stressing you out, saying that hey, they want the kid want all the best thing you wanted to, and that will affect your mental health. It will cause you to go in a state of depression, and that's the financial cost. The emotional cost now could be some toxic relationships. It could be some things from your past, some pain that you're still holding on to, father, mother, pain, issues, in not finding what you want from love. And that is the emotional pain. The social pain. We don't understand it or claims it, right? But we all, in our own circles, we all want to fit in to society, right? We all want to be accepted. So whether it is your views, your beliefs, or your stance, you want others to appreciate that you and what you say is important. So socially, some persons may say, oh, they don't care if they're not integrated into society. But I have found that to be untrue. We all, being social beings that we all want a place in society where our views, our beliefs, what we stand for, is seen and appreciated by others. So that is an important thing to prevent depression. And the fourth final reason is spiritual. So being a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual being that we are, and having a belief spiritually, and to be honest, living up to that belief, because there are rules and guidelines, and in us there exists that division, you know, in that the physical part of us may want to do something, and then the spiritual part side of us may um, oppose that, and that is what sometimes cause us to be depressed. Trying to living up to that spiritual standards, or trying not to live up to those spiritual standards, trying to be different, or trying to make sense or interpret those spiritual standards at times cause us to be depressed. So, my advice to anyone who may be suffering from depression or their mental health might be challenged is that if each person can take the time to develop their total self, their financial, their physical, their emotional, and their spiritual self. And if anyone has another area that they would think, it is not just where you develop one side of yourself and say, oh, I am just a Monday. Or you say, no, I am a Tuesday and a Wednesday. It is where we should understand that there are 7 days. And even though those days are repeated, we should daily try to develop ourselves. So Monday, you develop yourself. Tuesday, you develop yourself. Wednesday, you develop yourself. Thursday, you develop yourself. Friday, you develop yourself. Saturday, you develop yourself. Sunday, you develop yourself. And even if there is another day, you should also develop yourself. And it's your total self that you should develop. Not just one side of you, not just the financial, not just the physical, not just the emotional, not just the spiritual. But taking that time to develop the total aspects of you to increase, to prevent mental health or depression. So thank you for listening. And do also hope that you could listen to us on our several platforms. You can go ahead and make a donation to us to help us continue this work that we're doing. And hope of seeing you at our next episode. So please leave a comment where possible so that we can know what to do. Thank you and goodbye. Peace.